Well, thanks, Rod. Yeah, Android. Yeah. Well, again, not Apple, whatever. Tell me it's not. They're capable. You sign that digitally. You still doing investigation? Good.
Okay, we're going to call the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Commissioner McConnell. Here. Commissioner Baldwin. Present. Commissioner Beeden. Here. Commissioner Dunn. Here. Commissioner Rushing. Here. Commissioner Vandenbosch. Here. Chairman Bohm.
Here. Additions, deletions, changes to the agenda, seeing none. Could I get an approval of the agenda?
Support.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Those opposed. Items 5, minutes of previous meeting, items A through C.
To
discussion? All in favor? Aye. Those opposed, no proclamations. Consent agendas, items A through C.
This time I'd like to make a motion.
Discussion on any of these?
I have one question. Feel bad about doing this because I always say if you have a question, so somebody can have an answer. On the treasurer's report, where we show that there's. Microphone. As of March, there was $92 million in the account, and it shows all the different banks throughout the area that the money's at and CDs. There's one account called MI. That gets zero. Is that through like Michigan Treasury or?
Let me pull it up real quick. And I might have to get with the treasurer and get back with you on that one.
Are we allowed to do investments with that kind of money?
So the Public Act dictates what the treasurer is allowed to put her money in, so it is very limited and restricted.
Okay, I was assuming that when we didn't have anything that was generating more than 0.3% interest on $92 million, that we were stuck.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, that's it.
Okay, we're going to move on. Item 8, reports of standing and special committees. Commissioner Vandenbosch.
Um,
Well, tell them what you got coming up.
So we do have a battle of bands.
Push your button.
Is it green? No.
We have Battle of the Bands on Friday night and Saturday night. We have the Gobies playing against the Gringos on Friday night. Votes will be, we're gonna have $1 vote for each night, and it will be money, it's gonna be at the Nautical Mile Park, across from the Water Street next to the Riviera, in a large park, 2 stages. Votes for the Gobies will go back to the St. Clair Booster Club. It's going to be $1 vote, or in Jeff's case, much more than $1 vote. And then the Gringos will go back towards Green City. And on Saturday night, we have the Melvins playing against Paul Junk and Fallen Oats. And money will go back for the Melcher Brothers will go back to Elginak. The Melcher Brothers and Fallen Oats will go back to Green City.
Should be pretty cool. I got to give Dave a lot of credit. I'm a little upset I didn't think about dreaming it up, but and give credit where credit's due. It'll be a great fundraiser, and Dave worked hard to get a lot of different sponsors and stuff. The primary sponsor is the Marine City Lions Club. Correct me if I'm wrong. The proceeds. Yeah. Yeah. So if you get a chance, come on down and see us this Friday and Saturday down in Marine City. David.
Just something real quick, another heads up or a thank you to the St. Clair County Road Commission. This past Monday, not this past Monday, the previous one, when we had those 80-mile-an-hour winds out where we were at, took out quite a few trees. There were some on Masters Road and also right at Bell River Road. And they were, as soon as they filed Kurt Weston and the foreman out there, they get out there and cleaned up the roads. And I'm sure that happened throughout the county. What I'm aware of in Round Township, they got right out there and cleaned up the roads.
Okay. Commissioner Dunn.
Next weekend in this weekend, last weekend of the month, Marysville's having a Hot Wheels weekend. We're gonna have bands in town, classic car shows, beer tent down at the park. So anybody that would like to come out, it'd be great to see them.
Okay. Commissioner McDonald.
Hey, Vandenbosch and I met again with Ken Cummins with Tri-Hospital EMS, and we're still working on some numbers and different things, but Ken's been out and he's been talking to municipalities and to townships about the fact that their system can't sustain itself with the funding that they're getting primarily from the Medicare runs that they receive, what, Dave, $179? Yeah, from the state. So, I mean, every time they turn the light on and go pick somebody up, I mean, they have a cost of somewhere between $500 and $600, and they're receiving $179 in funding. So they continue to go backwards. And their system is, we funded a portion of EMS up until, Carrie, do you know when? 2006, maybe?
Yeah, approximately, yes.
So what we're doing is, if there's no objection from anybody on the board for us to continue this, I would like to be able to have Carrie directed to meet with Ken and look at the feasibility of if we went with some type of a county-wide millage for support. What happens is if they decide to close their ambulance service and they would sell it and it goes on the open market, there will definitely be bidders that would be willing to take it over, and they're going to cherry pick and they're going to go in and do the hot spots, and they're going to leave. And I'm partial, but I think they're going to leave the western area of our county kind of high and dry because they spend a lot of money out there for the amount of pickups that they have. So I think that I think the numbers justify it. I think that I just think it's necessary. It's time that we look at some type of a subsidy. So it doesn't mean that we're just going to write them a check and let them spend the money. They're going to have to come to us every year and say, this is where our shortfall is. So there's a lot of things. There's different townships that don't use it. The city of Marysville provides their own. So, you know, how those millages get split up. That's why I'd like Carrie to be able to talk. You know, we need to talk to corporate counsel and just see how all this works and see where we can go.
Hey, Greg, just what you brought up, because of potentially a county-wide millage, and all the different ambulance services we have within the county, we're going to make sure that everybody gets the same piece of the pie. Every resident's going to get a piece of the pie. Like where I'm at, you'll have Lennox, so I'm sure.
Yeah, and they've already been talking to them. Jeff has been contacted, isn't it, Jeff?
Yes, Jeff
Right.
White.
So he's been in contact with Jeff, and so yeah, this is just step one to try to see what we can do, but we need to find out the legal ramifications and
Good idea, and if we
possibilities.
can go forward, I think it'd be good for the county.
Okay. And then today we did have a meeting on the gypsy moth. I don't know what to say, gypsy moth. We're going to be voting on it tonight to set up the task force that's going to look into this and see logistically how it can work out or what needs to be done. And then it would go to each individual township and municipality to decide on how they want to proceed from there. So that's all I have tonight.
Okay. Georgia.
The master plan, I'm sorry, at the Metro Planning meeting yesterday, we discussed the master plan update, and just a reminder maybe to communicate with your municipalities to make sure that when this goes out for review, that they're looking at the future land use plan specifically, to make sure that it doesn't, it's not in any kind of conflict with things that they have going on. It's a plan that can change. It's one of those plans for future land use. It goes through 2045, so obviously it's going to change a lot before then. And it can change annually, it can change every 5 years. But if there's something that the county's not aware of, county planning's not aware of, that a community might have in their 1 or 2 year plan, to communicate that back to the county. So just a reminder that the communities will be seeing the county's land use plan, and we'd love the feedback. Met with Nancy Windsor in Parks, and kind of the same thing. She's been reaching out to all of the municipalities and local units to discuss, how it will work with county parks moving forward, and any help or collaboration, cooperation, that type of thing. So she's been making the rounds. If you have any feedback that way too, that would be great.
Okay, Lisa.
I'll start with the kind of the fun things going on in Port Huron. Rockin' the Rivers is happening tonight. They have a special concert again tomorrow night, and then Thursday, the rest of the month, will be Rockin' the Rivers. And then coming up in September is the Classic Antique Boat Show, the 10th and 11th for that, so that'll be fun. I also met with the Board of Health this week, and we've got a couple items on the agenda tonight that they're looking for support on. So they're definitely looking at getting back to their new normal and reprioritizing. They've been really focused on COVID the last 18 months, and so they're looking at what other projects need to continue to move forward and what staffing looks like in the new normal.
Okay. I just got two things quick. I know Commissioner McConnell, myself, Commissioner Vanden Bosch, Carey, we had the actuarial report on Tuesday. Pretty good shape. I think are we 86%?
Yes.
86% on our funding ratio, and we actually even moved our assumption rate down to a 7% for those that know a little bit about it. A lot of times, 7.5%, 8% is kind of the number that's been used. I found it interesting using a 7%, even using a 6% rate of return. They showed a 10-year projection that'll actually increase that percentage of funding. So we're in pretty good shape. Had to address the issue when I first became board chairman 11 years ago. I think we had like 3 years and we were done with their retiree health care. So back then we stepped up. We had a series, literally 13 meetings to get there and get a long-term plan in place. And it's kind of interesting to see the, hard work to really get that system stable. Also, I was in Lansing yesterday at the DNR. Pitching the Marine City Marina project, myself, the mayor of Marine City, Cheryl Verkaman, Laura Scotcha with the chamber, along with the interim city manager there, presented and to the board. Lots of good questions from the board. October is the next meeting. We're going to be able to go back and address a couple of questions that they had, but keep our fingers crossed. I think we're getting one step closer to the Marine City Marina project. That was one of the questions that came up, as far as 14 slips and some of the other stuff, and we really said it's step one into multiple steps for this, that there's a 16-mile nautical point between St. Clair and Algonac. There's nowhere to, safe harbor and stuff. So those types of things really resonate with the DNR trust. Also, it's part of the trail system. Actually, the property that's being proposed runs right along the Bridge to Bale trail system. So got a lot of good things working, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. We're going to move on. Citizens wishing to address the board. I have 4 this evening. If anybody wants to address the board, we've got our little sheets here that you sign them and you just get them to me. Matt Graham, 4475 North River Road, Dive Team Fundraiser.
Yeah, thank you, board. My name is Matt Graham. I'm the chairperson for the Dive Team Auxiliary, search and recovery diver for the dive team. I just wanted to come out and personally invite all of you. We have our now become annual fundraiser at the Milk House Cafe next Tuesday night from 4 to 9, where you can come eat ice cream and the dive team wins and the county wins. The Milk House has generously, once again, pledged 100% of all sales for the day. So any money that comes in, they're personally writing a check for the expenses for the day, and they are giving to the nonprofit so that we can continue to subsidize our training and education for the divers. So I just wanted to personally invite you all out and look forward to seeing many there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jessica Holcomb, 4123 Newman Road, St. Clair Public Health Order.
I just have a question. I didn't know, I know last year there was no public health orders made by Dr. Mercantot, but I might be saying her name wrong. I apologize. I'm just wondering if she's, or you guys are pursuing trying to get a public health order for mask mandates for children in school this year. And if so, what happens to the schools if they decide not to do it, or the children in that case if they decide that they're not going to mask? Oh.
So we actually have a meeting scheduled tomorrow at 11 o'clock with Dr. Mercantant, 3 of the commissioners, Carrie Hepting, just to talk about some next steps. moving forward, what it looks like. So I can't answer your question.
As far as you know, though, she hasn't submitted a public health order?
No, not to date. I mean, I have gotten a lot of emails regarding that. Usually we don't interact, but I, give you the courtesy of that. I think we've all received a lot of emails regarding it and stuff, and I've seen responses before, and she hasn't done anything yet, but we're going to, like I said, sit down and probably find out more. I know we've all gotten lots of emails regarding it. Marcy McClellan, 7900 Jordan Road, Yale, Michigan. County COVID restrictions.
Yeah, mine is similar to hers as far as I am curious as to what, I guess, is going to happen with our young people for this next school year. Last year was very rough on our kids, going masks, quarantines, virtual, back and forth, in school and out. And I just feel like we need to do a lot better for our St. Clair County kids. I don't know how many of you have kids in school and have been through that, but it's very difficult. And I would ask that you would, I'm glad to hear that you're sitting down with her tomorrow. I don't know if that's open to the public or if there'll be some kind of statement afterwards, but I'm very curious to what she has to say as far as how she saw our kids affected last school year. I think they should have data. They should know how many kids were positive after being quarantined if they're going to try and implement that again this year. I think it's very difficult on kids to be yanked in and out, and they're not greatly affected by this, and they should have the statistics on that also. So hopefully she will share some of that with you in your decisions as how we're moving forward. I looked up on the St. Clair County website, and they have some history of dates of like influenza, flu-like conditions, and they have a report on there that says back in 2017, we had 10,406 cases of influenza, flu-like cases. This year, well, in 2020, I guess, if you add the influenza small influenza they have on there and the COVID, it's at 11,000. That doesn't seem like a huge difference in cases to what we are doing in our county. And I think you really have to look at the deaths and see, is there a huge increase in deaths? Because that's where you need to see the increase. And in what age group are you seeing that increase? One other thing I would like to make you aware of is this article was put out by the Record Eagle from Traverse City. I don't know if many of you have heard about it. They were going to try and email all the commissioners because in Grand Traverse, in the Traverse City area, their commissioners put out a resolution that bans mandated vaccines and proof of COVID testing for employees. And it also, they want to change the messaging that's being distributed by their county health department. So I have 2 copies. I'll leave it with your clerk and you can look that over, because I think that if we can in St. Clair County be a leader also, that citizens have a constitutional right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that doesn't seem to be happening in our county. And they took it upon themselves, these commissioners, to say that that is what they wanted for their county. So one other thing I would like to say is I have healthcare workers in my family, and there are healthcare workers in our state, in our county, that were heroes a year ago, and now are threatened with losing their jobs if they don't take this experimental shot, which is, it's an experiment. I don't know how our colleges are mandating it. I don't know how schools think they're going to. And employers, I don't see how. It's not FDA that I know of, unless something happened recently that it got changed.
If you could wrap it up, got about 30 seconds left.
Okay, I'm just saying, I don't believe it is FDA. So we have to remember, why are people mandating something that is in the testing stages, and we're wanting to give this to our kids? So I just ask that you really evaluate how our health director wants to pursue this school year for our kids.
Carolyn Richards, 7690 Metcalf, COVID recommendations.
Hi, thank you. Just kind of following, the curtails of them, both of those ladies, that last year was an extremely rough year for our children. Mental health, academics suffered terribly. This year, as of now, our kids are going to be going to school without masks, and the smiling faces that you see coming through the doors and playing sports and being able to breathe at this time is just so wonderful to see these kids and not have to struggle, when they're playing volleyball or football or whatever. I know I looked in our region, and out of our entire region on the MDHHS website, there's only been one pediatric hospitalization, currently. And I'm sure, I don't know the extent of it or the, medical disorders, but one pediatric hospitalization. Our kids are not at risk. The deaths are low. Some kids, may not even have symptoms, but they're told they're positive and have to stay home. The detriment that these kids are experiencing, with being missing school and, being isolated is just too great to, to mandate again. So I also, just urge you to really consider that. I mean, this is not an emergency at this time. I think that's it. I mean, I agree with everything Marcy said, and write down, I'm a healthcare provider, and I am terribly concerned that I may lose my job. And I work for the VA clinic, so I don't know, it's a sad state, and I hope that you guys, do right by the Constitution and right by your citizens. Thank you.
Okay, we are going to do, there's no unfinished business, but we are going to do some introductions at this time. I'm going to let the mayor of Marysville do a kind of a, I see a few Marysville employees.
Well, welcome to
in
the
here.
city of Marysville, County Board, all the people. The facility you're in is about 1.5 years old. We're proud of it. It serves our purpose. It was a huge downsizing for us. We collaborated with RISA, and of course RISA purchased the building we were in, which is just north of us. And I think RISA calls it the East Campus now. We were using at least half of the building and serving really no purpose. This building, however, being downsized, serves our purpose. I'm sure in years to come, we're going to have to look a bit out on things. I'm sure when you're involved with government, you always have all the paperwork that has to be saved or microfilmed or something for perpetuity. So there will come a time, I think, when we'll have to just bulge out a little bit just to accommodate that. I think we've established a good record with all county departments, the road commission, county parks and rec, although I do have some things I'd like to address to the county parks and rec here shortly when that time comes. But I think it's showing that we, as part of the county, do participate with all county departments and with the board, to accomplish different projects which are going to benefit all our county residents. And I'll make it short and conclude, and I'll go out on a limb on this one. I think we are the only city in the county that the sun always shines each and every day.
Do you want to introduce, I see you've got a city council member and...
Sean Winston, he's on our city council. And Mr. Booth, which is our finance director.
Hey. Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We're going to get into new business, and if you have not been to a county board meeting before, our format is we always address these issues previously, so all these items have been talked about. They actually get moved on to the full board. So if it seems like we've kind of gone through these in a hurry, they've actually have already been vetted and passed on. So item A, the approval of county disbursements.
This time I'd like to move to approve the July 2021 county disbursements in the amount of $14,813,091.29.
Support.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden,
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch,
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn,
Yes.
Chairman Bohm,
Yes. Item B, the 2022 Residential Substance Abuse Treatment Grant Application.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2020 Residential Substance Abuse Treatment Grant Application in the amount of $256,989.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item C, St. Clair County Policies.
This time I'd move to approve policy 306, department rules and guidelines, policy 315, job descriptions, and policy 372, workplace safety and security.
Second.
Discussion on any of these?
Are we close? Are we about wrapped up on these policies?
I think we have about 10 more to go.
Been straightening the handbook out. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item D, the 2022 County Veteran Service Fund Grant Application.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the fiscal year 2022 County Veteran Service Fund Grant application in the amount of $145,468.
Support?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? The Library Board reappointment.
At this time, I'd like to move to reappoint Arlene Marcetti, District 2, to the Library Board for a 5-year term expiring August 26, 2026.
Support.
Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item F.
I'd like to move to approve the expansion of the agreement with Patagonia Health for a contactless patient experience application in the amount of $20,000 with a $200 per month subscription fee. Support.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch,
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn,
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell,
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Chairman Bohm.
Yes. The Veteran Affairs Board, I think we are going to be doing the vote on this. We had 3 different applicants for 2 positions.
Thank you.
Oops. I just flipped up.
Oh, yep.
Will this heavy mat tax you a little bit? Or
It's a little bit easier than last November. I want to make sure this is a vote for 2. Is that correct or no?
Yes.
Vote for Cordone. A vote for Watt. A vote for Cordone, a vote for, is it Cantz? Is that how you pronounce that?
I believe so. I tried so hard last time.
Yes, Lisa's here.
How was it said, Lisa?
Yes.
How about Michelle? Can I say Michelle?
Michelle.
A vote for John Cardone, a vote for Michelle. A vote for Michelle. And a vote for Watt. A vote for Michelle. And a vote for Watt. A vote for Cardone. And a vote for Michelle. A vote for Watt. And a vote for Michelle. So we have 6 for Michelle and 4 each for Cardone and Watt. Let me just double check that.
You jinxed it. That should be 14 total.
That's correct. So we have a tie for the second, so we got to run another ballot. Right, we're appointing two.
Do we have to run a can we appoint Cordone and then vote on?
Could we just take your same ballot you have now, and now you just circle one or the other, leaving Michelle?
Well, we have a second ballot.
I'm sorry.
We have a second ballot.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what the bylaws say, Jeff, with regard to, it's a tie for the second position, right? So I'm sure the bylaws are not a ranked choice. They're probably not a ranked choice.
Right.
So the first one, which is Michelle, is in.
Okay.
So the next vote is going to be, you're choosing between the two.
Okay, so we're picking one then.
Picking
Okay.
one. Makes sense?
Makes sense.
Good for you, Bruce, for being prepared for this, Gene.
I wouldn't go that far, dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can't, it doesn't matter. Now there's 7 votes.
Right.
If this one comes out, therefore we got an issue.
Right.
The 3 of ours. They're all there.
The sad part is when we have people dedicated that are willing to put their time in, you hate to see anybody not be able to do it. Because most of the time, we're trying to find somebody to fill a vacancy.
Right.
And trying to beg somebody to come in, so.
We very rarely have the problem that it's
One
too
for
many
Watt.
volunteers.
One for Watt. One for Watt. One for Cardone. One for Cardone.
I screwed up. I know when you gave me that look, I'm like, oops.
Are you done?
Sorry.
Pretty simple text.
Spoiled ballots.
One for Watt. One for Cardone. So Watt has 4, Cardone has 3. So it's Michelle and Cantz, and
Jeremy Watt.
Jeremy Watt.
Okay, there we go. Move on, item H, the contract approval request.
I would make a motion to approve the purchase and maintenance agreement with IDEMIA for lifespan fingerprint machines and software in the amount of $33,712.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call?
Yep, give me 1 second. That was McConnell and Baldwin? Correct. Commissioner McConnell?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes.
Chairman Bohm?
Yes. Item I?
This time I'd like to make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2022 Emergency Management Program Grant Work Agreement.
Support.
Thank you.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item J.
I would make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2022 Michigan Indigent Defense Commission agreement and to approve the addition of 1 senior attorney position, 1 legal clerk 1, 1 legal clerk 2, and 1 law clerk 3, and 1 casual temporary law clerk to the public defender's manning table.
Support.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item K.
I'd move to approve the fiscal year 2022 Raise the Age Grant application in the amount of $242,552.
Support?
Discussion?
Yeah, I have a little bit.
David, yeah.
I wasn't here for the committee meeting, so I do have a couple questions. The $242,000 is just a grant application, where the money's coming from?
Well, this is funds we would receive from the state to cover additional costs for those 17-year-olds.
Okay, because it seems like this is a grant. Is this going to be an annual thing? And to me, it's like a tax increase, even though we're getting money from a grant from the state of Michigan. It's still monies that taxpayers have to pay for. Is this going to be an annual grant or just 1 year time?
Is that on? I believe it should be annual. The statute changed on how 17-year-olds are sentenced, so now they will be in a juvenile facility instead of an adult facility. So this is the state funds will receive to offset our additional costs due to that legislative change.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Those
Good.
opposed?
I'm definitely going to support this for the 1 year. We'll see what happens next year, though, but definitely a yes.
Okay, item L.
I would make a motion to approve the agreement for law enforcement services with the city of Allegan for a term of 1/1/2021 through 9/30/2024 in the amount of $2,548,482.
Support.
Discussion. I remember when they did this, and I think it's worked out very well, and I think they're very happy with their service they're receiving down there. So, roll call.
Commissioner Dunn. Yes. Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Beede.
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes?
Commissioner McConnell.
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes. Item M.
This time I'd move to approve the revision of a part-time probation officer position to a full-time probation officer position in the 72nd District Court Probation Department manning table.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Beede.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell. Yes. Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes. Item N.
I would make a motion to approve the Friend of Court IVD Cooperative Reimbursement Program contract for the fiscal year 22 and 23 in a total amount of $8,548,380.
Support.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Vandenbosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner Beede.
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell.
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes. Item O.
At this time, I make a motion to approve the reclassification of an outreach coordinator position to a community health education and outreach coordinator in the health department manning table.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item P.
This time I'd move to add a full-time senior case manager position to the public guardian manning table.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item Q.
I would make a motion to approve the purchase of a master control console for the intervention center from Ceramic Creative Business Products in the amount of $20,091.69.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Beede.
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes. Item R.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the modification to the septic sewage clarifier pilot, adding 2 additional months of equipment rental from United Rentals in the amount of $8,700.
Support?
Any discussion?
Matt Williams is here if
Matt is
anybody's got
here,
any
I saw.
questions.
So far, so good? Okay. Actually, roll call.
Commissioner Beede.
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell.
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes. Item S, the Gypsy Moth Monitoring and Suppression Program.
Yeah, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agreement with the Friends of the St. Clair River for Phase 1 of the St. Clair County Gypsy Moth Suppression Program in the amount of $14,650.
Support.
Thank you.
So Georgia, since you're my gypsy moth czar that I pointed you, where are we at in the, why don't you get us up to snuff a little bit?
So what I can tell you is that on the county's homepage, I'm going to it right now just to verify, but there is on the left under quick links, there is a link to report gypsy moth caterpillars. And so if we can make sure we're sharing that. And then today I actually was not able to attend the meeting with Friends of the St. Clair River, but both Carrie Hepting and Commissioner McConnell were in attendance. So I don't know if either of you.
I think it was kind of a quiet meeting, I guess you could say. I don't think there was a lot of information. It was more interaction from people that were calling in and that had the issues. I think they were the Friends of the St. Clair County River that are going to do this project. We're a little bit nervous about talking ahead of our meeting. So I think now that if we pass this, then they know that we're going to at least be able to fund them, and they're going to take the lead and work with. There was a lot of township supervisors on the call today, and so they'll work with them on some mapping, and they're going to start doing their testing in, I believe, November and December to figure out the quantity of masses, or what do they call them? The
Egg masses.
Egg masses that are out there. And once they determine that, then they'll be able to come up with some type of a dollar amount on what it would cost if there's going to be some type of spraying done. Then the people would be notified, and people could find out if that's what they want to do or don't want to do, and then pricing can be structured. So I know we're working with Macomb County, and there was another county, Janice?
She mentioned Oakland County today
Oakland
as
County.
well.
So if we can get some, dynamics and have, maybe get the cost down a little bit so that it doesn't become a huge burden. I don't think this is something that the county's looking at. We're looking at providing the service to do the footwork. We'll have the boots on the ground and get things going. And then if people so choose to have some type of a biological spray put on, then that's going to be their choice and their pay. So
There are a lot of resources to pull from, but there hadn't been one entity who could put together the logistics to make it happen. So I think Friends of St. Clair River will take the lead on, putting together a program, getting volunteers potentially to go identify the egg masses, but then there are, Michigan State Extension has some resources that are available, but maybe wouldn't be the boots on the ground part. And then there will have to be a program written that talks about the funding mechanism. But I think as a board, what we decided after that first meeting in June was that we can't do nothing, but that trying to figure out what program works the best. So I believe Terry Gibb, who was the program director for Macomb, is working with us, and she's been doing it for a long time.
Decades.
Just retired, yes, yeah.
Okay,
A
very
lot
good.
of partners.
Yeah, actually, when I spoke to Mark Hackle, he had mentioned Terry and that she's got a lot of knowledge with it, so good. So, roll call on this.
Commissioner Van Bosch.
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Commissioner Rush.
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden.
Yes.
Chairman Ball.
Yes, item T.
Mr. Chair, I would move to adopt resolution of 21-15, pledging full faith and credit to the Bell River Intercounty Drain Note.
Support.
Discussion.
Just a little bit.
Shirley.
And Bob Wiley's here, but a lot of this drain is going through Berlin Township, which is in my direction. It's also, starts as a river at Miller Road, which starts in Riley Township. Other than that, it starts as a county drain prior to that. So the DNR has control of it once it gets into Riley Township. But a lot of this goes through Greg McConnell's area also. And just a heads up or a thank you for Bob Wiley being our drain commissioner. I do this for our road commission. I think he's done a fantastic job as our drain commissioner, and a lot of drains have been cleaned. Prior to Bob Wiley, I believe a lot of the drains hadn't been touched since the 30s, so I really appreciate the efforts he's given to our drains. That's it.
Okay. Roll call.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Commissioner Commissioner McConnell?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbach?
Yes.
Chairman Bone?
Yes. Item 12, the administrator's report.
Late last month, we received there was a statewide update regarding the opioid suit, the national suit. So the state of Michigan has been presented with a settlement offer of up to $800 million could come to the state of Michigan. The Attorney General has 30 days to review that and accept it. If it is accepted, then the local units will each have an opportunity to accept that settlement, and it's with 4 of the drug companies. I know this case has been going on for several years now, but there is some movement on it. It is a $26 billion national settlement that is being proposed with those 4 drug companies. It would come over a period of years, and it would be tied to recovery type and opioid and addiction functions when those funds, or if those funds do come in. So as I hear more, or if it is approved at the state level and we get something to come down, I will let you know. The county's 2022 through 26 capital improvement program launched earlier this summer. We received projects back from departments. There were 22 projects totaling $21.8 million. Those projects will be reviewed and scored by an internal committee. Then a public hearing will happen, and that should come before you in October for your approval. Bids for the 26-mile road corridor study were due today. I did not receive word yet of how many bids we received and the dollar ranges, but they are going to be open tomorrow, so I'll be able to let you know that tomorrow afternoon. Most of you know that the detailed census data has come out. I wanted to let you know that SEMCOG has a very nice spreadsheet available on their website that breaks it down by community and has different demographics in there as well. If anyone's interested, I can forward that on to you.
I definitely would.
Okay. And lastly, we will have some budget amendments coming to you in September for the general fund and some of the special revenue funds, I believe. And we are still working on scheduling the auditors to come in and do their presentation. That's all, unless anyone has questions.
Any questions for Gary?
Gary, just one question. Our motel, how are we doing? The jail? What are our numbers right now? I meant to call Matt today and I was hanging pictures, so I didn't.
So, overall, the population is definitely still down. We're nowhere near capacity. Our federal numbers are creeping up a little bit, but nowhere near our historic numbers. But they're on target with our budget.
Okay.
Any other questions for Gary? I have a motion to receive and file administrator's report.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Miscellaneous business. Does anybody have any miscellaneous business for us? Receive and file.
Make a motion to receive and file packets.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Yes.